Hey, what's up? Hey, Renee 43. Thank you for being the first to say anything. Thank you for getting here before I do. Well, you get here before every show I'm supposed to be on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to what's tentatively called Drunk Champs, because Drink Champs is taken, I was told. And both AOH and I have a moderate drinking problem. But hey, we're gonna get some laughs out of it. AOH, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Spain. I'm looking forward to being surprised by whatever you have prepared for us today. Just so everyone knows, I have no idea what's coming.
Cool.
And
Well,
hello,
that's great.
hello, Renee. It is impressive that you're always there.
Shout out to Monroe as well. Yeah. That level of loyalty is both appreciated and I'll have another word later, I guess. We'll see. We're going to get into the Mind the Game interview with Luca and LeBron and Steve Nash. And trigger warning, it is if you suffer from secondhand embarrassment, you may want to shut your computer off or turn your phone off or whatever, because there is a bunch of that. And trigger warning for anybody that's ever seen a spoof of any movie ever, because this conversation sounds like it's not even real.
Hey,
AOH,
can
do
I
you have
just,
anything you want to get into because I want to get right into it.
I just want to compliment you on your choice because I saw it. I mean, I saw that it happened, and I was like, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Luca looks like a child that's been beaten, but just by looking at him. But then I thought, okay, wait a minute. Why in the hell would you agree to go on LeBron's podcast after the way he treated you? And after he just let the media eat you alive and he didn't come to his defense and he said, oh, it's not my
Mm-hmm.
job. It's not my job to convince Luca to stay here. I mean, where's the
Mm-hmm.
love? Where's the love?
Well, the love, I guess, is in whatever sentence LeBron is saying in that moment, because one day, it's not my job to do blah blah blah. Then the next day they're toasting each other watching Sex in the City. You can't make this stuff up.
Okay,
Um,
so it's as bad as I expected it to be, or even worse.
it might be in my notes. I mean, if I read these notes out of context, you'd be like, I don't even. Oh, actually, no. There's a lot of bingo card references here. You got unnecessary swearing from LeBron,
Of
LeBron
course.
miscues, LeBron mispronunciations,
Of
lack of the
course.
definition of commercialism. Yeah, it's going to be a whole thing. Um, Again,
None of
shout out to
that's
the chat.
none of that's new though. Everything you just said just comes standard with LeBron speaking.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like the LeBron bingo card, right?
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. Let's just get right into it.
Let's
Can
do it.
you shout out to Hoops and Anime? I think you meant making Sex in the City. Well, that's that image is in my head now, so I don't know how much longer we're gonna ride this out. And I just said ride this out. Now that phrase is ruined for me. Uh, that is that is funny. Let's just move past it. Let's just get into the interview. And AOH, can you please let me know if you don't hear the audio on your end
I
or
will
in the chat, please?
I will let you know.
Thank you. Let me do the present thing, share screen thing, this thing. Bam. I'm a tech genius.
Well done, sir. Everybody give Spain compliments. He needs them.
Okay, everybody. Would you say AOH?
Nothing. Just being a smartass.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Let's get it started. I apologize for saying let's get it started.
Black eyed peas, right?
So real quick, this is Steve Nash talking about Luka Doncic's foundation. I'm assuming you don't give a shit about that right now, because I don't.
I I don't see anything on the screen. Right? Is something supposed to
No?
be on the screen? No,
Yeah. You don't see it?
I do not.
Oh, okay. Chat, can you guys see the screen I'm trying to share?
Did you put?
Let me know when.
Did you did you click add to stage?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Oh,
kidding. No, I
Spain.
didn't. Jet, there it is. Ha!
Don't
I
ever
did
by
not click that button.
don't ever by default stream to my channel again. I'm embarrassed.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
As a
You need to
kid,
rewind it.
now you guys are teammates.
I mean, it's
You
great.
need to rewind it.
Well, now that you cut me off, yes.
That's the reason you need to rewind it. Okay.
No, really, I think it'd be unfair for the audience if we didn't ask you off the bat. Improve the landscape of youth basketball. So thanks for watching. Please enjoy, and we look forward to this episode.
Oh, Steve Nash.
Logo. That's the dumbest logo ever.
Honestly, this is amazing to have you.
Appreciate it.
You know, it's usually just the two of us, but we reserved a third spot for the main man. And no, really, I think it'd be unfair for the audience if we didn't ask you off the bat what it's like playing together, how you feel playing with LeBron. I know you looked up to him as a kid, and now you guys are teammates.
I mean, it's great.
Not even sorry.
I'm throwing up.
Not
already.
even 2 minutes in AOH, and it's a question about LeBron.
Yeah.
You can't make this shit up,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
And to your point, Luka looks nervous. But let's go ahead. Let's keep going.
Great. You see, I've never played with a guy like this. And, you know, just being traded to here, to LA, I mean, it was different. But just to play with guys like him, like, it's unbelievable. Like, I can learn so many stuff, you know. First of all, off the court, you know, all the things he does just to be ready for the game. And
LeBron is a hunter now?
What kind of player he is.
I guess so.
What, like, give me an
Christ, Luka is a
example of
terrible
couple
public
things you've
speaker, by
seen,
the way.
like, being around him every day where you're like,
Is he always
does
this
that?
way,
Like,
or
what's
is he
doing
just
over there?
subdued?
Like, is there anything that stands out?
I can't tell.
initially where you're like, wow.
So
Well, first of all, he shows up like 10
Real
hours
quick,
before
let me
the
pause
game,
this real
so
quick, sorry.
that was really the main, like, I was
real quick, it's interesting you said he's subdued. He seemed disinterested to me, and I've seen him do sideline interviews, and I've seen him do pressers, you know, when he was playing for Dallas. And I'm not saying he seemed subdued, but he at least seemed happy. But
Did
no, that's
Rob-
an interesting.
Did Rob Pelinka negotiate this part too? Because Luka went to LA against his will, and maybe he has to go on the maybe he has to go on the podcast against his will.
Isn't it weird how these detail change, you know, kind of like retroactively?
Oh, Luka.
like, I came to the arena.
For
He was
22 years.
he was already done working out. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then what about playing together? Like, you guys are so similar. You know, obviously different stages of your career.
Go rewind it. We missed
What,
something. Hold on.
like, give me an example of a couple things you've seen, like being around him every day, where you're like, he does that. Like, what's he doing over there? Like, is there anything that stands out initially where you're like, wow?
Well, first of all, he shows up like 10 hours before the game. So, I mean, that was really the main, like,
Does this all have to be just an excuse to compliment LeBron
Listen.
James? LeBron James is 40.
Can we have a moment of silence for journalistic integrity, please?
Oh, well, if you
Like,
want to go
no,
back in time,
Because I can't afford that much downtime. My channel needs these views. This is like when I talk about secondhand embarrassing. This is I can't swear. This is embarrassing. AOH. Chat, I don't even know if I'm doing a good enough job expressing to y'all how embarrassing this is for us to be able to clairvoyantly tell you exactly what's going to take place in this interview before they even probably started scripting it. LeBron's 40. He gets to the gym 24 hours early. He's 40. It's his 22nd year. Strive for greatness. And yes, I guess he does hunt now.
Hey, LeBron, why don't you spend some fucking time at home since you're such a great family man? You don't need to be at the gym early when you fucking check out at the game early. You know, why are people impressed that he shows up early and then doesn't fucking do the job when he's actually in the game? Anyways,
That's a really good point. What difference does it make if you show up on earlier or on time if you don't do the job when you get there?
yeah. And what about the process?
Man, that's such a good point.
He's got to leave the game early to get through his process, but
It's a whole thing.
And really
Look,
quick, a 40-year-old man who has been doing this for 22 years should actually be bored and embarrassed with ongoing compliments. Just get to the fucking podcast. You shouldn't need to hear from someone. And by the way, Does everyone know that Luca's been a professional since he was fucking 16? Okay, so let's stop acting like this is a make-a-wish thing and it's, oh, my dream came true. I'm finally playing basketball on the big stage with my idol. It's just, I don't buy it, Luca. You could cook LeBron in a heartbeat. You can't be that happy about any of this. Does anyone
And
remember that
I don't think he is.
Luca headhunted LeBron on defense when they played against each other?
Oh, it's not just me. AOH, your audio is in and out a little bit.
Damn.
I'm sure most people would prefer out as opposed to in, but I did invite you, so you know. You still with me?
All right. I'm here. I don't know what to do.
That's a little better. That's a little better. I can hear all the faxing and office work happening behind you, but I it's good. What were you saying?
Nothing. Just continue.
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Like I was, I came to the arena.
For
He was
22 years.
he was already done working out. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then what about playing together? Like, you guys are so similar. You know, obviously different stages of your career, but you're so similar. The way you see the game, the way you process the game, the way you can, you know, abuse bigger defenders, you can bully smaller defenders. You're both computers. The way you read the game, like.
No.
Has it been fun to see someone that you understand the way he thinks and to be able to play off each other?
Yeah, before you didn't mention the bounce.
The bounce? Oh, minus the bounce. Minus the bounce. A lot of similarities.
No, it's been great, but just, you know, I still think it's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we two are out there, NAR, you know, he's been playing unbelievable. And I think it's just still work in progress. You know, I think we're getting better and better every day. I mean, I think you saw today. Or against OKC, you know, it's hard to win here. Number one team in the West for a reason, and we just, you know, we shared the ball. Everybody was getting open shots. So
you got to pause
still, it's work in progress. But
what's up?
Oh, the way that copyright strikes are going, you got to pause.
Oh, hey, thank you for that heads up. Appreciate
even
you.
If you don't have anything to say, and maybe blow up, you know, change the screen layout, like blow our faces up or my avatar up.
Yeah, let me do that. Hold on.
Just mix it up, because YouTube is like really trying to fucking X us out.
Got you. All right, I'm gonna blow. Okay, cool. Blow my face up then, I guess. That's probably a good place to pause. Let me check my notes. Here. Okay, so we're almost 5 minutes in. Not one profound statement yet. No new information. Luca looks fat and nervous, and that's coming from somebody who's always fat and always nervous.
And by the way, when was this filmed? When was this filmed? Because didn't Luca lose like 30 pounds or something?
You know what? I think he has like a tapeworm or something like that, because he always gains and loses weight like overnight, seemingly. Again, first question's about LeBron. I have to keep coming back to this. Luca, and not that I'm like the expert here, but listen, you're in LA. Have you ever heard Rui Hachimura speak? That man speaks beautiful Japanese and English. Luca has no excuse mumbling through this interview like how he does. And to your point, he doesn't sound excited at all.
Yeah, it's not a language barrier. It's not a language barrier.
No, it's not. It's an emotional barrier.
Yeah, and I'm sure Luca. I know he's down tempo, but I'm sure he's done better public speaking than this. I feel like his soul was snatched from him when he went to LA.
Yep. Shang Tsung kicked that door right open and took his soul. He'll never get it back. I'm going to keep going. And thank you for the reminder to do that. Appreciate that.
And don't forget to put the video back on the screen.
We're getting better and better every day.
It was interesting. I noticed, you know, OKC, so handsy, athletic. You know, they speed people up. They can't speed them up. Like, what's your take? When you're saying you have no speed?
I'm sure.
But you handle all that pressure, and then you can dissect the team. Once that pressure breaks, now you're playing your game. Do you notice sometimes when he's able to just calm things down and take charge?
No, like you said, I mean, it's always his pace.
Yeah.
And it's always been his pace. You know, it's never been a game be like, okay, well, you can speed me up. He can speed me up. Okay, this bigger guy can be more physical. Okay, the smaller guy can get up underneath me. It's like he moves at his own.
Real quick. What in the fuck is he talking about?
It doesn't matter. He just
like Steve Nash did the work for you. Steve Nash did exactly what you guys practiced. He said all the big words for you, and he made it where all you have to do is just agree or disagree. And here goes LeBron.
Moves at his own pace, and he's never ever been on the floor where he's allowed someone to dictate where they're going to put him on the floor. It's always been the opposite, you know. And for us, when we all
That's
working
amazing.
off of that, we just gotta stay ready. You know, obviously we've seen throughout his career, like there's plays and passes that certain guys that in the league history have ever been able to make, you know. And, you know, for us, we all just have to make sure that we continue to stay ready, especially when you're going against handsy teams, athletic teams that try to speed you up. We always have to keep our head on the swivel because you just never know. You just never know when the ball may find you. And that's a good thing. That's keeping the defense off balance. And that's a great thing to have that.
Yeah, you know, it's a great point.
Real quick, AOH, a little bit of background noise on your end. Just give you a heads up. A. B, if anybody in the chat can translate that bullshit, I'd greatly appreciate it. He talked himself into, I don't even know if a circle is the right shape, because at least you get back to where you started. He I don't know. He talked himself off the map. I'm just gonna keep going. AOH, do you have anything to say? I mean, I'm sure you don't. This is par for the course, but like I said, we had to watch this.
honestly, I tuned that part out.
Perfect. That's
I mean,
okay.
I can't. It's a survival thing. I can't listen to fucking LeBron for very long.
Your fight or flight is kicking in.
In fact, I'm gonna go buy a shot for myself and the other gentleman at the bar. But keep going. I'll just mute myself while I order the shots.
All right.
Point. One of the, like, you guys are both incredible passers. One of the things about your passing game that I always really admire is the late pass. Like, did you do that as a kid, or is that something you developed as you got older? But it's like, it's almost over, and then you go like almost 180 behind you to someone for three. Like, where did that come from? Like, is that something that you always did or it developed in time?
I think it developed during time. I don't think I did that as a kid.
Yeah.
I remember that. But just, you know, what I always said to my teammates, you know, once I go up, stay in your spot, because I know where you were before. And then if I don't have any option, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah.
But I think it through time, you know, I don't think I did it as a kid.
But it's brilliant. I mean, you've made every pass there's been, and you obviously pass over people. But
all right, mandatory pause break.
Good job.
Thank you. Shout out to Star Wars Clip Notes for that. Any comments after you bought your gentleman friend a shot?
Well, no one else accepted the shot offer, so I'm drinking whiskey alone.
Sure. Okay.
Does anyone want to comment on whether Luka has been a better public speaker than this in the past? And again, it's not the language barrier. It's just being like subdued to where he's barely breathing, much less getting the words out. Or maybe it's him. I mean, it could be him. I just don't know.
Yeah, actually, chat. If since I guess the bus boy is like sat right next to AOH. If there are any
I noticed
examples of Luka speaking where it doesn't seem like someone said Rich Paul has a gun to his head off camera. We'd love to see it. My bad, AOH. What were you saying?
Well, I see you put that comment on the screen. Are you actually going to turn the volume up on the video?
Oh, and I did already. I did.
Okay.
So thank you for that. And I'm gonna keep on about these switch ups. It is so daggone hot in here. All right, here we go.
But it's great because the natural kind of thinking of a defender is when you leave your feet is they kind of turn and they think, my guy's out of the play. I got to get ready to either rotate or
rebound or crash.
And then they've come in a little bit. The ball's going over there. They can't get back out. So
I'm sorry,
Spain. But you can't do that without the vision, but also with your size.
Yeah.
This podcast is really fucking boring. Are there some good parts we're gonna get to, or?
Oh yeah. I can skip. Listen, I have timestamps and everything. That's fine. We'll go right through it.
This is terrible.
It's bad, right? So actually, my note here at 10 minutes. Here, where are we within this right now? Okay, 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes, right? At 10 minutes, there's still no new information or new insight. All right, that's 1/3 of the podcast. Okay, but no, it's boring as shit. Hold on one second.
And by the way, observe natural evolution. I like your name, but that's just untrue. There's whiskey. It absolutely matters which whiskey you order because of taste. Absolutely drink alcohol because of taste and alcoholism, but taste plays a part.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's so funny is that's exactly what I was gonna say. Well, I was gonna say habitual issues, but yeah. Okay, gotcha. All right, let me see. All right, so 10-minute mark. Bear with me one second.
Luca blinked twice. You can hear.
Man, you can't be a millionaire and get held hostage at the same time. That's
made this incredible study. You commissioned a study called.
Oh, okay. So, on a serious note, on a serious note, before we keep going, one of the things about Luka Doncic's foundation is that they want to talk about bringing the joy back into sports. There's some statistic that they're about to ramble on about kids leaving the sport that they're in after 13 because of burnout, and that's when it kind of filters into commercialism. But real quick, because they're going to bring this up, Luka Doncic, his foundation. Okay, so you know how he said LeBron James is his role model, right? Would you like to know the basketball players that are on the board of his foundation for this, what we're about to talk about?
Oh, God. Yes.
I'll just do it real quick. Dirk, Sabrina Ionescu, T-Mac, Pau Gasol, Grant Hill, Steve Nash. Are any of those LeBron James?
Oh, well, thank God.
No,
I was holding on to a glimmer of hope that LeBron wouldn't be one of them.
Right. No, that's the correct response. But I mean, he's your role model. Why isn't he on your board? Probably because he makes terrible decisions. I just want to throw that out there.
Change the comment on the screen. I think Skinter has a super chat. You don't have to read it yet, but you don't need you don't need the instructional.
Sorry, kids. I'm still learning this thing. There we go.
Foundations, by the way, at least in LeBron's case, is a way to accept donations so that you don't actually spend any of your own money when you do something like build a school. Part of it was funded,
or the taxpayers' money.
Well, right. Part of it was paid for by his foundation, which means someone else paid for it, and the other part was paid by the actual school system.
No, you know what it was his foundation said, "Listen, we'll build your school, but you got to put LeBron's sneaker room in there, and it has to be bigger than all the classrooms." And that's how they decided.
Yeah, was it I'm getting confused since both of them are basically shrines to himself, but was it the school or his museum that he has a mural of his face next to Dr. King?
Yes. Yes.
Which one is it, or is it in
yes.
both?
The answer is yes.
Okay. All right, keep going.
Okay.
Youth basketball development. We've all gone through it. Yep. We've all had to build ourselves up as players. You now have two sons, one who's basically gone through it and the other one who's right in the middle of it.
Yep.
You grew up in Europe. I grew up in Canada. It always fascinates me how people develop and what systems. And so your foundation, the Luka Doncic Foundation, has obviously made this incredible study. You commissioned a study called Inside Youth Basketball, like 300-something pages where for a month they studied how people are trained and grow up playing the game in Europe versus how they're trained and playing the game in the US, and trying to find out as many things as possible to help kids get better.
Yeah.
So, man,
This is what
you said why as I was getting
this
ready
is
to
what
pause
Homo
and say
sapiens are.
why.
This is what Homo sapiens are spending money on.
Oh my gosh, bro, we
We're
are
in a
so in sync right now. I was pausing it
we're
because
very important. We're a very important
yeah,
species, aren't we?
listen. I was thinking to myself, yo, who cares? It's like that. It's like that Dave Chappelle. What's Ja Rule got to say about this? It's like, yo, who cares what Luka Doncic thinks? He's so detached from everything. Like, um, so anyways, because they're gonna do a really poor job of summarizing what the study's for.
This is what I got to think about the American education system when Luca's spending money on things like this. Luca, could you commission a study to find out how many Americans know the difference between Canada and Europe?
Or right, or can
If
they
they're
identify where your country is on a map? So okay, so one of the things that it's going to get under my skin is they're going to sit here and talk about how there's the athlete burnout from kids, okay, due to commercialism, and then we're just going to take it from there. AOH, you good?
I am just these guys could just lead by example because they are the commercialism of sports. We don't need.
We are going to delve into that, my friend. We are going to.
This is
delve
like
into
the oil. This is like the oil industry commissioning a study, pretending that they care about the damage that they're doing when they could just stop causing the damage.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What inspired this for you?
I think just
Amazing.
seeing like kids not pulling out of sports these days, more and more kids are pulling out of sports. Just probably they don't have as much fun as I did when I grew up. So that's why we have a study in America and study in
Pause, break, plus. Let me point out 2/3 of the men in that room have brand Jordan gear on. Just something to think about. Screen switch.
Europe. So we're trying to combine the weaknesses and the strength together. So the main thing was just kids to have fun playing basketball, especially when you're young. You want to have fun. Not think about anything. Just go out there and have fun.
So there's been a study that claims that 70%
The third time they mentioned the study.
of kids quit youth sports by the time they're 13 because basically the joy is pushed out of it. Too much pressure, not enough fun. I'd love to know about your childhood. Like, both of you, how did you fall in love with basketball?
Well, for me, I wasn't good at any other sports.
All right. What Luca says is pretty bare bones, pretty boring.
So I'm realizing.
But so everybody's, what's that?
Well, I put a video in the members section where I reacted to a section of this that Uncommon had reacted to. So now I'm realizing, okay, we're about to get to the part that Uncommon was talking about, and what.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna get right to Lebron's.
Sports, except soccer. I was
okay?
Cool. I went outside every time just to
Every
play
day.
basketball.
So I grew up playing in the backyard playing soccer. It must have
I went to his games. I was.
LeBron. Like, what was the first moment where basketball came into your life and you're like, I love this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the exact moment, but I think I was able to watch it. When I had I got to see some of the greatest that played the game.
Can Luca commission a study
What's that?
to see? Can Luca commission a study to see if basketball players can begin a sentence without the word or if it's physically impossible now? It's no longer just LeBron. He might be the worst, but I don't think I've heard a single basketball player respond to a question without starting with and it's a bad habit.
Nick, try to say what up. So I don't remember the psychology of it, but isn't that there's that whole thing where it's like if you look up to the left, you're lying, and if you look up to the right, you're telling the truth. It's like you're accessing which side of the brain. And I'm trying to pay attention to that with LeBron, because it always looks like his eyes are rolling up in his head anyways. But it's like he starts every sentence that exact same way. Even when Steve Nash is laying this up for you, he's alley-ooping you saying like, yo, when did you first love basketball? I don't know. This is riveting stuff. This is how do you allow yourself to say I don't know? What?
See, this would be fun. This would be funny if we didn't both know that there are a ton of LeBron brain-sized people out there that absolutely enjoyed every second of this and thought it was invigorating.
Or he has camouflage on and they can't see him anyway. Either or. All right, screen. Oh man. All right, starting to feel it a little bit. Hang on here. All right.
Played the game. I was inspired by them. Like I was inspired by MJ and inspired by.
Okay. So I'm sorry. He got twisted up on the word, and I don't mean to nitpick this, but whatever. He got twisted up on the word inspire because he confused it with expire. He tried it twice. And then after that, he just said, fuck it. I'm just going to say spire. Did you catch that?
I'm used to just ignoring these things. It's pretty
please.
but good attention to detail. Good attention to detail.
These little nuances are what I appreciate about where we are as a species, to your point. Let me see if I can catch it.
Well, look,
like what was the?
Go ahead.
A lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, what are you worried about? Why are you hung up on these things?" But if you don't set a standard, then things just progressively get worse, and you keep lowering the standard. That's what happens when you don't have a standard. Everything just goes downhill. Unfortunately, you have to have a standard, and if you don't criticize people, which apparently even the media, who are paid to criticize, won't do anymore, then you end up with this shit. Illiterates who can fund their own shows producing illiterate shit.
It starts with a standard, because once you get rid of that, everything starts to fall apart. Once you loosen those seams, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Here, let's I want to, if people miss that, this should be pointed out.
Like, what was the first moment when basketball came into your life and you're like, I love this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the exact moment.
Come on, man. I don't know. So then let me keep going.
But, I think I was able to watch it, when I got to see some of the greatest that played the game. I was inspired by them. Like I was inspired by it.
Did you see he wrote the letter C up in the air? Did you catch that?
MJ and, inspired, by Anthony Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill and those guys.
So we got inspire, expire, and then just fuck it, spire. Right.
Well, listen. To the point I made previously, this guy fucking opened a school. Does anyone think that the guy opening the school should be held to a standard of literacy and public speaking?
Yeah, but AOH, he had glasses on when he opened that school.
Yes, he did.
So, I mean, what more do you need?
Yeah, and he carried a briefcase. He had a briefcase.
And he had a briefcase.
And an apple in his hand at a post-game press conference.
That idiot. It was probably a wax apple, and he probably tried to bite it. People said they couldn't see the thing. Hold on, let me do this again.
No. By MJ and inspired, by
Anthony
Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill and those guys. Like their sneakers inspired me. The commercials they used to do back then inspired me. And then just being outside, I was always a kid that just wanted to play. Whatever it was. If we was playing tag.
So how unique is it?
Someone?
How is it? Well, listen, I've never met one kid that just wants to play. Ever. Have you?
Well, I'm old, so yes, I remember this.
That's what I'm saying. It's just interesting. All right. Well, aspire for greatness.
Playing tag, if we was playing football, we was playing baseball, if we was playing football, basketball, everything, kickball, that was.
I'm sorry. Okay. I put in the comments, this idiot said football twice and not one person said anything about it. Hold on. AOH, do you remember the Naked Gun movies?
Yeah.
This is like
featuring O.J. Simpson.
featuring O.J. Simpson, yeah, featuring the juice O.J. Simpson. Hey, they saved the queen, right? This is like watching an interview. This is like watching Leslie Nielsen with an interview. But just
play,
Yeah.
whatever it was. If we was playing tag. If we was playing football, we was playing baseball. If we was playing football, basketball.
You played everything.
Everything, kickball.
Yeah.
You know, that was very popular in my community. Just running around and just exerting as much energy as possible till the lights, you know, in the street came on. It was time to get in the house. Like, I just wanted to do whatever. And then I think once I got into like, you know, the youth leagues where it started being competitive, I actually love the competitive nature of basketball.
No,
you know, being out there 5-on-5 and we're playing for something.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing to see who can score the most points and win the game.
what's up?
Well, are you telling me that there was no sense of competition prior to organized ball?
I picked up on that as well.
He's acting like he had the youth of the common person. Well, not mine, because we fucking played hard, and it mattered who fucking won at the end of the day. Whether you were in the park behind the school or at your friend's house, he didn't start to understand or appreciate competition until it was a league. I mean, that just tells you, anyways. I saw someone.
That's what he says.
I saw that someone responded to Young Disciple, and I don't know what Young Disciple.
Oh,
said.
Disciple's here. Oh, that means I made it. Hold on. What's happening? I haven't seen it.
No, don't give him any love. I just think it's mind blowing that he tunes in for this.
Hold on. Are you able to post these while I'm also, or no? Is it just me?
Post things.
Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, that's it. What are you y'all talking about? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not very compelling, but it's more compelling than the original content of the podcast.
Actually, yeah. Let's boost ourselves up a little bit. What we're talking about right now is miles ahead of this. But you know, he played football, baseball, and football. Just so you know. That's all.
Yeah, we all did, or at least when I.
Yeah, no shit. Tag. I played tag. Man, whew, you grew up. That's the most unique thing I ever heard in my life. Motherfucking tag.
Yeah, we're trying to add a little entertainment to what is actually dreadful podcast.
And win the game.
Right.
You know, and then ultimately it got to like, oh, if we win the majority of the games, we can win something. We win a champ, have a banquet, and have medals and little trophies. Like, that stuff inspired me, you know, because I watched, you know, NBA guys and college guys at the end of the season, they get to host a trophy or whatever. I thought that was pretty inspiring. So, you know, as a kid, you're just always inspired by the ones that's already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that.
Is he still not saying it correctly?
Okay. He said it correctly once, maybe twice, but you know how when you have a child and it's like they're learning words for the first time and they come home with those note cards and it's like, learn this word, and then the teacher tells them like, make sure you use this word a lot today so you can learn it and blah blah blah. I honestly think that's exactly what's happening here.
I think it's really.
I really do.
I think it's interesting that he's broadcasting that he needed to see trophies to get inspired to start. I mean, that kind of tells you everything, doesn't it? He doesn't play for the love of the game. He plays it for his trophy collection.
Oh, yeah, this is
non championship trophies apparently are his favorite.
So the word those are called participation trophies, AOH, which are a thing.
He is the face of the participation trophy era.
He sure is. Mr. Roy Boyle Jaw himself. Okay, let's keep going.
Oh my God.
I think that was a big moment for me, for sure.
It's funny you said the commercials. Like, I didn't really start playing hoops till I was about 13. Like, played hockey, soccer, baseball, lacrosse, all sorts of stuff.
He's good at soccer and tennis. I saw you.
Yeah, you know.
You still play tennis.
You said a little louder?
No, he's yeah. You still play tennis, yeah.
He's good.
Still love to play.
So at 15 minutes and 30 seconds, because this is another shining example of the self-centeredness that people, if they're not that bright, may not pick up on. But this also happened at a game one time. So did you catch when Steve Nash said, say it again or repeat this or whatever, what have you? He was asking Luka to repeat himself, not LeBron. But LeBron repeated himself anyways and pointed at him, and they all laughed at each other like they were on the same page, but they were not. And it was just difficult to watch. But people don't pick up on those little idiosyncrasies.
Okay.
Fix this thing here.
I mean, intelligent people don't watch this podcast until you force
True.
us to.
That's true. That's true. Let me fast forward to what I'm guessing is what Uncommon talked about real quick.
I think you were touching on it earlier, but that's all right. Don't.
Yeah. I think it's about the commercialism, but let me see.
Well, it was about AAU.
Not much.
You're
Well, okay. So what did Uncommon say about AAU? Shout out to him, by the way.
Well, he was talking about people just start having their kids trained like early on, skills training, instead of them just going out and playing and figuring out on their own whether or not they love something. And my takeaway, the basis of the piece of crap podcast I put into my members section was, what about parents training? I mean, why everybody just shoves everything off onto someone else now? It's delegation. It's like, oh, I have enough money, I will hire someone to raise my kid, train my kid, coach my kid. It was actually a really important part of a parent-child relationship to have them pass on what they knew about the sport directly to their child. And when I didn't, in between playing against my friends, I'd play against my dad, to hone my skills and pick up some, pick up a couple of tips here and there. And if what they're saying is correct, and I believe it, that's all gone. There isn't any passing on of knowledge or skill from parent to child. From what they're saying, it just all gets outsourced. Let's just say that parenting is outsourced.
So that goes back to the privilege part, right? It is outsourced, and that's why a lot of these AAU players, they make it because they already have these resources, available to them. They have private trainers, they have money to eat the best and work out the best and all that stuff. So it's this specific room, I don't know, or this specific interview, they're a little bit detached from reality, suffice to say. Let's see what else. Let me change the screen here real quick. Thank you. Got that. All right, let's get back into it.
Your boys just come through the whole system.
Yeah.
Do they go to the park and play with their friends?
Very rarely.
Also, real quick, doesn't Luka have a weight problem? Why the fuck is he drinking wine in the off season?
I guess people only associate weight with beer.
I guess so.
Never had that.
Interesting. I wonder. Yeah. All right. Well. All right.
Rarely.
Yeah.
By the way, hey, can I just?
They did play out.
Shoot.
I see a lot of things showing Luka with a beer in his hand. I just want people to understand that in a lot of places in Europe, people have a beer before they fucking go to work. It's not like it's just not put on the level of evil that Americans put it. And yes, alcoholism and drunk driving are all bad things, but prohibition and all that shit was about politics and money and issues that you don't notice in Europe. Nobody sits there agape, shocked that someone's, like when I was in Venice, you go into a cafe and one person's having a champagne and the other person's having a coffee. In England, fucking all kinds of people were having a pint before they fucking went to work.
They were also, and I don't know if you said this, but they were also a lot more responsible, just in general, to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
As long as you're willing to do the things that counter it, then
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Sure, but but that's another thing, AOH, you learn growing up, right? It's like when you get to college, it's like the first time you have alcohol, everybody my freshman year thought they were tough, drinking like gosh, like those fruit coolers and all that, like the Zimas and all that. Like they were crushing that, and then they wake up with these crazy hangovers, and it's like, yeah, but like, A, life will teach you because of the sugar, and B, you're not a tough guy for drinking that. And C, strive for greatness, right? Like these are things that you learn throughout life's process by trial and error. Smirnoff, thank you, realist. Smirnoff, thank you.
You know what we left? It must have been with you that we went down memory road listing all of these alcohols that kind of died off. But you know what came? You know what came a little bit later that we didn't mention? Tequila. Who remembers tequila?
I don't know what that is.
It was a light beer that had agave infused, a little infused.
Oh.
And it didn't last. I thought it was good. Did anyone else think tequila was good?
Tequila. Anybody in the chat? Tequila. I've never heard of it. I'm not much of a drinker, but yeah. All right, let's keep going.
They did play outside a little bit, but mostly it's indoors. They didn't.
And program.
Yeah, and program, and they lived, for the majority of the time, my kids growing up lived in, South Florida and lived in Southern California. Yeah. So it wasn't no reason for them not to be outside. Right. I get it if they, the majority of the time, grew up in Northeast Ohio where you have 4 seasons and it's hard to get on the outdoor court where it's 6 inches of snow or it's raining crazy. It's not the thing. And like you said, I think not allowing kids to just go out and just explore all sports, basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse, track and field. Like me and my guys, we ran track and field as well when we were like super duper young. We played football all the way, American football all the way through high school, we didn't just cap it at one thing, you just did one thing all year round. And I think a lot of kids burn the hell out. You just tell them to do I'm gonna just do this one all year round. I'm just play basketball or just play volleyball or just play soccer all year round. Yeah. You burn out.
Yeah.
There has to be.
I'll actually agree with that a little bit, but when did that happen and why? Is it because parents want their kids to fund them and become stars, or is this even real? I think every school I know still has a sport for different times of the year.
Well, do you go to the I Promise school?
I do not.
Oh, well.
And I know it.
You can't speak on it.
Okay, my bad.
It's all right. The not so subtle shot at the state of Ohio, which really just like PA. Just like Pittsburgh, really just has 2 seasons, summer and winter. But still, if you love basketball that much, playing out, see, they're taking playing outside and they're using it in the most literal sense ever, right? If I'm in Ohio, all right, basketball is a winter sport. I'm not playing it outside. No shit. I'm going to play it in an indoor court. But guess what? That's still considered playing outside because it's not ran by the AAU. It's not ran by a bunch of dudes with hands in their pockets. And they're taking it. They're taking all this at face value, and people are reading into it and see, oh man, that's so smart what he said, blah blah blah. But it's like, no, he's not. He doesn't even understand what he wants to talk about. It's like how there's this group of people that think Tropic Thunder should be canceled, and it's just like, we think it's wrong. And I'm thinking to myself, if y'all can't pick up on what Tropic Thunder was trying to do X amount of years ago, then all hope is lost. That's where we are. If you hear something that sounds like it could be iffy, let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. Let me keep going. Anything to say, AOH?
Well, I've played basketball in the snow, but it's not the best way to play. But I certainly, football season where I grew up started painfully hot and ended in the snow, like smashing frozen fingers against helmets. So This idea that LeBron is saying profound things, you nailed it. This podcast is painfully boring. That they did.
It is. It is.
That they
We
did.
have to make our own fun. We have to make our own fun. I'm contemplating making a drinking game out of it, but like I said, I really can't hang. There was another point I wanted to get off my chest with that. Oh, and also, why are we using? Because he was a millionaire when his kids were in school. Why are we using this man as the focus group or the focal point for kids not playing outside, quote unquote? Obviously, they're not going to operate living normal lives. They can't afford to. So why is this a solid example?
I don't know. I can't believe you're making me sit
I
through
don't
this.
either.
This better get interesting.
Well, we're making it interesting.
Are we?
Why don't you ask the guy you bought that shot for?
Me?
Yeah.
You know, at 22, 23, 24, because you've just been doing it
Or
since
younger.
or younger.
13,
Yeah, 13. They just
right?
start, they say, fuck the hell with it. I'm done. I don't even want to play no more.
Yeah.
So I don't think putting the cap on these kids, being able to, they should be able to just explore, man.
Do they still play on the playground in Slovenia?
Not much.
Even there, it's still more programmed now. It's fascinating to me because I think like what happens is that's where we develop the joy, right? It's playing with your friends, not a coach telling you what to do.
What up?
By the way, the person that commented on my audio, they were delivering kegs. I'm trying to mute myself. When I went to Europe, everybody plays soccer on the street, on the beach, in the park. How come? I'm sorry, I'll call it football, but I don't see that problem with football. It just made me realize they play fucking soccer year round. Why doesn't the burnout excuse count for that? I mean, they don't, and they may play other things, but they don't ever fucking stop playing soccer in some countries.
Well, the other piece of that is, and I have to be honest, I mean, I have a lot of friends with kids that play basketball right around this age group. In chat, if I'm wrong, please let me know. I'm not hearing a lot of talk about burnout from kids playing basketball. If anything, I'm seeing it more often. I'm just seeing the brand of basketball decline. You're seeing a lot of YouTubers and guys that like to do a move and then watch the crowd crash the court and disrupt the game. And like you see a lot of basketball being played. I can't say I've heard of a lot of burnout, but that's just me. That's just me.
To do it's trial and error.
And it's like on the playground, you're allowed to make mistakes and nobody's going to say anything. Yeah. And I think that's like one of the main points too.
And that's where you like, I think every generation learns from the one before, but you also learn from the playground trial and error.
Yeah.
Like you go and play, you try stuff. Yeah. It doesn't work. Exactly. No one says, don't do that.
Yeah.
Right,
like, like this late pass.
What is your contribution to this podcast? Quote, yeah. And quote, quote, and yeah. These are the sound bites. These are the sound bites from the greatest of all time, supposedly, on this insightful podcast that is his podcast. You still with me, AOH? Please tell me you're still with me.
Yeah, well, I'm just self-conscious because apparently my mic just isn't good. But I'm thinking about how bored we are, and I'm wondering how Luka can fucking sit there through this. He's got to be in pain. The boredom has to actually be a painful level. He's like, get this.
You can see it in his eyes.
Get this wine out of my face. I need a hookah and some cocaine and some shots because this is fucking boring as fuck. Like, he's there for free too. They didn't have the decency to. They didn't have the decency to pay him. I don't even know how they would possibly calculate that into his budget of insane money anyhow. But just poor Poor Luca.
He looks like one of those those rescue dog commercials with the Sarah McLachlan in the background. He looks like one of those dogs like in the cage, just kind of like staring at you, trying to convey to you that they need to get out, but they don't have the capability to do so. That's exactly how he looks to me. It looks like he's on the like on the verge of crying. And trust me, I know what that looks like. That yeah, exactly. Whatever, man enough to admit it. Anyways, oh my gosh, it's almost been an hour. That's crazy. I am going to fast forward here to the what I'm guessing Uncut was talking about, or Uncommon was talking about. Sorry, give me a second here. Oh yeah, 21.
The best part of today is reading the comments from the viewers. Good job, viewers. Good job with your comments.
Yeah, that is the engagement is appreciated. All right, here we go. I think this is right around here.
Physical with your friends, like so. Yeah, it's just it definitely.
They're trying to get between 2, 3, 4 guys at your size, even my size. What is
okay? All right, I'm gonna shut up.
Getting physical with your friends, like so. Yeah, it's just it definitely helped me out a lot.
And let me ask you. Let me pose this for you. So you're out there trying to get between 2, 3, 4 guys at your size, or even my size. What is more joyful? Where do you learn? We learn a lot faster through trial and error, or a coach saying, "Here's the cones. No. I want you to cross over, spin." Like that's gone for our kids in a way.
Yeah.
Right. We don't get that time to just play, to try things, to make mistakes, to play weird games. Right. Yeah. Like you would never go to a skills coach right now and he'd be like, "All right, guys, 21."
No.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like we got a program. We're going to try to teach. And so what happens is the joy, the creativity comes out of the game.
Okay, yeah.
Pause break. Yeah.
Uncommon included that part.
Okay. Last I checked.
Getting physical with his friends. Good for you, bookmark.
Last I checked, every time I drive by a basketball court, as long as the weather's nice, I always see kids playing. Where is this idea that kids are no longer playing basketball? Where does this stem from, other than Luca's commissioned study, which was done by Rich Paul and Maverick Carter, probably?
Well, there's something to it, because what Uncommon has said multiple times, and I can agree with, is that courts are not filled the way that they used to be. Basketball courts aren't filled the way that they used to be. But maybe that's because of the LeBron effect. We're just going out and winning because you want to beat the other person isn't there. I mean, LeBron in this podcast said he didn't get inspired until he saw trophies.
Spired. Try for greatness, AOH.
I gotta tell you, the satisfaction of beating somebody that, for whatever reason, make up.
Can you speak up a little bit? Mo says they can't hear you.
God damn. All right. I'll never try to do this from here again.
This is what happens when you have a goddamn flip phone in the busiest restaurant wherever you live.
Just keep going. We'll try this again, and I'll never try and do it from here again.
No, man, you're good. I can hear you. I can hear you fine. I guess
on an iPhone microphone, and this is what I get.
I can hear you fine. I don't. But if you can speak up a little bit. Here we go. I'm gonna keep going. Let's keep going.
Comes out of the game, and that's why you get kids quitting at 13, right? Sure. So, did you ever have that? Like, did you ever have skills coaches when you were growing up in Slovenia, or just your coach?
No, really, just my coach. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I don't think like skill coach existed.
Yeah, not everything's bad, right? Like, I'm not here to say that everything's bad.
No,
some things get better and better and better. We know more about the body. We know more about a lot of things nowadays. But I do think that the commercialization has really made it less joyful, less creative. Right. And then you don't have the social aspect as much.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the pressure the system puts on a parent, like, I can't take this away from my kid. I got to give him this chance, instead of the kid being like, I'm going to the park to play, or I'm going to go in the backyard. And so I think it makes it complicated. And, I don't know how we kind of add that piece back into this puzzle where kids are playing informally. I don't know, like maybe this is what you're going to try.
And again,
this
pause,
better
right?
get interesting at some point.
No, AOH, because here's my thing. I went to school for English. I went to school for corporate communication in English. Oh man, I should not do that anymore.
English?
Yeah, English.
Your degree was in English?
No, my degree was in corporate communications, but I took a ton of English classes. The point is grammar is my thing, right? And from a communication standpoint, I cannot stand when people just echo the last few words of somebody's sentence just to prove that they heard what you said. I cannot stand that because it just reeks of insecurity, and there's almost like a lackey sentimentality. Like, I'm not gonna say what I want to say. I'm just gonna repeat what you said to prove that I'm paying attention. And I'm not saying he's not paying attention, even though he's probably not. But how have you come along this far? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Ironically, I can't speak English right now.
Was that your effort to make this more interesting?
No, but this is the stuff, man. When you you can't open a school doing shit like this. That's what I'm saying. Come on. All right, let me keep going.
What you're going to try to do.
That's what we're trying. Like I said, the way I grew up was just going after school, going to court, and then go to practice. So I was just I was outside a lot. I even tried the skateboarding. They built a new dirt. Grew up in Germany.
Together, and
that is involved in a lot of these kids' lives.
Okay, real quick. I think this is what to me this is the most disturbing part of this interview. I'm gonna take a little pause break real quick. Shout out to Realist. Yep, that gets you right up on the screen. Yep, stuff like that. I'm just joking.
Okay, Lebron.
To me, when I first heard this, I was like, I don't even know if reality is real anymore. Let me keep going.
They actually want to be more famous than actual kid.
Yeah.
They think they're more important than actual kid that they're training, and
their motive is not pure.
Their motive is not pure. Like they want to be on in the camera. They want to be recognized. They want to talk to the media. Say, for instance, I trained Luka for 2 summers, and he has a breakout season. Now they want to do interviews with people. Like, that's not the fucking objective.
Right.
The objective is to be.
Okay, so
the wrong person to be saying these things.
So when you're that tone deaf, and when you can't read to begin with, let alone read a room, how do you catch yourself using yourself as an example of the shit you're trying to combat? This is like fourth wall breaking stuff. And he caught himself doing the unnecessary swearing yet again to prove he has an edge. That's at this point, that has to be low-hanging fruit, right? For somebody to pick up on that.
Well, it's low-hanging fruit, kind of like the people that comment in my videos, hey, you didn't mention his travel. Well, do you know how long it would take for me to finish a video if I called out his travels? It's just like at this point, it's expected and accepted. Kind of like when people like Lebron go on a podcast and speak incorrectly. It's expected and now accepted, and that's only going to get worse. We're going to be like drawing in crayons on a podcast pretty soon. And shout out to the Europeans that the European tourists that visit North Beach, because without them there wouldn't be anything to look at walking by.
Well, shout out to them, especially if they're in here.
Hashtag stop eating, American women. Let me shorten that.
Do
No, I
not
don't.
make that a
I
hashtag for my channel, please.
well, I didn't. I
'Cause I
didn't
don't
need
agree
to go
with that
gender.
completely.
Hashtag stop eating, Americans.
Yeah, there you go. That's better. There you go. That's better. That's better. And you know, quite frankly, I don't think there's that much more to parse through with this, so I'm going to end it in a second. But
Oh, thank Christ! Thank God. I feel as relieved as Luca must when he escaped out of there.
He's probably still there.
Be there trying to help this kid get better, try to help this kid, you know, in a sense of him seeing the game maybe further than what he did before. It's not for you now to be famous. Like, and I think that also changed a lot of the landscaping too, of kids not knowing the purity or the essence and the beauty of the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's tough because I think for me,
I'm done actually. So
I'm gonna shout out some chats. I'm gonna shout out some chats.
Okay, go ahead. I'm good. I'm good.
Full denim jacket, nailed it. LeBron's talking about these AAU coaches making it about themselves, and he says, "You mean like when a professional player shows up to his kid's high school game and joins the pregame dunk line?" Yep, that would be it. And Steph says, Clarence from 8 Mile is more authentic than LeBron. Yep.
Clarence's parents did have a real good marriage. I was told. I was told that one day. And so, yeah, I think that's a good place to end it, just because I can only. I wanted to break this thing into like 3 segments, you know, but then I sat through it and I said to myself, eventually you have to cut out stuff that you just expect. But I did not expect him, believe it or not, I did not expect him to use himself as the example for what he's trying to combat. And at the risk of sounding like a little bit of a hypocrite, although most of my sneakers and stuff that I buy are mostly from eBay, they're either used or fixed up or whatever. I try not to give money to retailers very often, but you can't sit there and have a lifetime contract with Nike and talk about how commercialism is bad, especially commercialism of the sport you play, the sport that you push. That is, I don't understand how there's at least not somebody opposing their points of view on this, because if anything, yeah, the AAU system is awful, but I don't, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't think that's why kids aren't playing basketball. I think kids are playing basketball, but if anything, it's that upper crust. It's that, you know, that group of NBA families that have money to send their kids to the best schools and, you know, give them the best of the best. And they get the leg up. I don't know the specifics of it, but let me see if I can find them. There was a story about Danny Ainge's kid. He's getting a job with what is it, Utah? Let me see. I think it's Utah. Okay, yeah, the Utah Jazz are hiring Boston Celtics general manager Austin Ainge. Okay, and the first thing I see is, oh, so nepotism is okay for him, but not for LeBron, blah, blah, blah. And it becomes a race thing. And then when you look at Austin Ainge's work history, and there's a 14-year sample here, when you actually take a look at what's taken place, you can clearly tell there's a difference. There's a difference with somebody with proven work experience in the field compared to what LeBron's kid did. And that's no diss against him, but it is not apples to apples. And because Danny Ainge is white, I mean he's like see-through basically. You know, he's translucent. It's really easy to pick him apart on this. And I wouldn't be shocked if this comes up as a story, I don't know, tomorrow, maybe even today, because it was Shams what's his face who reported the story.
How did he get that position, by the way? Like, someone obviously feeds him the information, and then it's like, oh, Shams. Yeah, I think this is exactly. This is also only in my members section, but I talked about how Thomas Bryant, essentially, who is now on a team going to the finals, represents the value of the draft pick that the Lakers lost for Bronny.
No kidding. Yeah. Well, and I read the other day that they're going to try to work him into the rotation. What were you going to say?
Just like shout out to Meg. Meg's been around for a long time. What is LeBron teaching Luka? Luka is better than LeBron ever was. Yeah, in every category.
Shout out to Meg.
And Steph, Luka scores, assists, and rebounds more while being a fat, out of shape, smaller white guy who drinks and smokes hookah in the offseason. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting. There's a lot of angles to go with people suddenly declaring Luka as out of shape. Well, LeBron, you should definitely be outperforming him then, shouldn't you? Since you're being called the most conditioned guy, which is insane.
Especially when you're on the floor every 3 seconds because someone brushed the top of your head.
But you know what? He showed up hours early, so let's be impressed by that.
Not only AOH, he didn't show up. What he built, listen, he's the one who drew the blueprint out. He got the materials, he built a building, and he just sat there until the rest of the team and the players and the audience and everybody, and they got there. That's how long he's been in the gym. You can't beat that.
Robert Spence talks about quit makes Jesus Christ. Does every fucking vehicle on the planet have to have that annoying reverse beep thing? It's another example of humans just.
What are blind people supposed to do, AOH?
Fuck blind people. Maybe not be born.
No, that's not my view. Bars.
People have it. People have it on their regular cars now. It's not just delivery trucks or construction trucks. The asshole that pulls into the garage. Anyway, not a fucking reverse beep, and I can't even finish my sentence. Oh, the 1-6 thing. And then, actually, it was worse than that. I did a video highlighting that LeBron went 1 for 9. And the fucking 1 out of 9 that son of a bitch made, he did the ice in the veins pose.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. I don't remember, but I think that I'm pretty sure that was D'Lo's celebration before he even got to the Lakers.
Yeah,
and then he got to the Lakers. They punched him in the face and they stole it from him, and then they shipped him off.
Yeah. And that's all the proof I need. A lot of people have said so.
Okay. All right. So it's not just me. AOH, listen, that's all I got. I haven't practiced how to close these things out other than
well, I'll tell you what.
Chat, appreciate the conversation. You'll just cut me off like you're known to do. Go ahead.
Well, the lives have been lacking lately for everybody.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah. That's right. Yeah.
It's good to catch up with you. And I won't try to do it from the bar ever again. It certainly has its limitations, and I apologize to everybody. But I thank you, everyone, for at least trying to tune in.
The tuning in is appreciated. Everybody in the chat, whether good or bad or evil or whatever, it's appreciated. You need to make sure that you inspire your kids, you inspire your family. You strive for Spire. I don't know how else to close this thing out other than that. I would assume, like I said, be on the lookout for that story about Ainge, and I'd like to see if it turns racial, which I'm sure it will. And then I think AOH, we can probably come back to that and speak on that a little bit. Have another little United Nations meeting. You good with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. Whatever else people say. Awkward close.